Welcome everybody to my floor. As you can see behind me, some of you will have discerned, as well as reading the title and looking at the thumbnail, that I got a drum kit. Ow, ow. I've already had a drum kit, but it was an electronic kit, one that I had in my house because I didn't want to bother anybody. But now I'm a big boy and I've got big boy pants on and I have an office. I have multiple floors in an office and I get to have fun with whatever I want to do. So I decided to buy a real drum kit, the one that I've always wanted since I was like 16 years old. And I saw Danny Carey from Tool live and I saw that he played a Sonar kit. Sonar? Made in Germany, baby! Shout out Germans. I already kind of opened one, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I should actually film this. If it never makes it out the hood, then I know that it wasn't funny or interesting to watch. So I decided to start filming. I opened up this one and I was like, you know what? Get a camera and a microphone and start going nuts, baby. So I haven't seen the drum kit yet. You guys are gonna see my first reaction. Was I in focus for that? I think so. This is what happens when you film on your own on a Sunday when everybody's still off for the holidays. Okay, first things first, it's warm in this bitch. So it's time to derobe. It's still too warm. Do I look sexy? Do I look cool? Do I look like the Winter Arc version of me? Okay, sick. Anyway, let's see. It has cardboard on it. I haven't seen it yet. I'm so excited. It looks so cool. But also not that heavy, surprisingly. A lot of people are probably like, how heavy is a drum kit? I'm not that heavy because most of it is just wood. Okay. Packed Supreme. Oh. We have broken the sound barrier, folks. Okay, hold on. Oh, I can hear it already. I can hear the tone. Oh, that's a spicy meatball. Listen. Does that sound horrible on camera? Probably. Look at that finish. Oh, can you see yourselves in it? That's you. That looks unreal. I went for like the faded edges and the dark sort of like walnutty finish because I thought it looked really cool. It's nice looking on camera. Oh yeah. You can get like drum heads. I don't have like Evans heads or Remo. I haven't decided what I want yet. So it just has the Sonar clear medium heads on it. Oh my God, it looks so nice. I love the hardware that Sonar kits have. I love these lugs. And they have like the isolation thing that when you hang it on a rack or a tom stand that it doesn't like vibrate into that. Oh yeah, that looks good. I can't remember what size this is. This is gonna get real nerdy for the people who actually play drums. For all of you who don't play drums, ask questions, follow along, please. Don't, whatever. This is a 10-inch by 8-inch. For the sizes, I didn't really have a rhyme or reason why I went with the sizes I did. I'm not that clever about drums. I was just like, all drums sound good. I know spending this much money on a kit and not really specifying, but these were like the default sizes that Sonar had on their website when I was buying it. And I was like, I don't know how much drum depth is going to affect the sound for what I want to do for playing for fun instead, and playing so many different like genres. So I was like, I'll just get what they recommend. You can't really go wrong with that. I'm sure people in the comments will let me know that I made a horrible mistake. But also, having it be 10 inches, I like even spaced drums. So I usually do a 10, 12, 14, 16. I think that's what I have here for my toms. And I like that. I never really, I used to have a kit when I was younger that was like, I think it was 10, 12, 13, 14, and I was like, having a 13 doesn't really sound that different to me. Maybe my kit just sucked, but I always liked the even spacing and just the size difference. But I also decided to go with shallower instead of like 10 by 10 for the racks, because I wanted shallower drums to be able to sit them over the bass drum without having them be like way in the air. Again, that's what my drum kit had when I was a kid. I didn't like it. I hated it. And now I've gotten used to playing an E kit, which the toms are all flat up here. Anyway, enough talking. More unboxing. Get a knife out. Be safe, children. So this is a 12 by 9. Again, I wanted to keep things more on the shallow side, more so for ergonomics than sound profile. Because again, it all just comes down to personal preference and personal taste, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a big boy. Doesn't sound very good right out the box because I don't have skins on it that I like, and it also is not dampened in any way or tuned in any way, really. Actually, it doesn't sound too bad. I don't know how that comes across on camera. I like it. I think it's great. Oh, the finish is so nice, and I love this. I love the cymbal that they have. I'm so far away from you guys. I'm so sorry. Why am I that far away? I bet a lot of you at home didn't even know you can tune a drum. These are the two rack toms in comparison to each other, so they're just an inch difference in height, which I really like. When those are sitting up in front of me, and then I get to like fly across them, they're not going to be like... I never really liked it when drummers had their drums up like this. Like, I was a big fan of Pantera growing up. Vinnie Paul always had these massive, fucking huge toms, and they were always at such an angle. I used to listen to Avenged Sevenfold, still do, and the Rev always had his kit like that. So I did it when I was younger, and like Travis Smith, when he played with Trivium, had it. That's who I listened to. Chris Adler, when he was in... God, none of these drummers I listen to are still in their bands or they're dead. When Chris Adler played with Lamb of God, his snare used to be like this. And I just, it never felt good to play that way. You always kind of like emulate the drummers that you like, and then you do the things that they're doing. And then I did that and I was like, why are you guys smoking? I don't like that. Anyway, that's number 2. Let's do some floor toms next. This is a 14 by 14. So for the floor toms, because I didn't need to worry about clearance, I matched the diameter with the length. Even their packaging, oh, drum legs. Even their packaging has the symbol on it. Oh, there goes one. Drum feet. The first time I ever heard like a proper drum kit, I bought a drum kit when I was younger for like €160. It was just a really cheap, really just like practice learner starter kit. And I stuck it in my shed and I played that. And then the first time I ever heard a proper drum kit was a guy who went to my school had a sonar kit at home, like 2 kick drum sonar kit. And I went to his house to kind of like learn because he was into Tool the way I was. Well, I wasn't really into Tool back then, but him and my brother were the reasons I really got into Tool and fell in love with this kit because it was the first real drum kit I had ever heard. What does real even mean? But you know what I mean? Like a professional grade drum kit. And I was floored by like how thundering it was, how much it kind of like shook the room. And I think ever since then, I've just been obsessed with sonar kits and gear and hardware. I think it just looks really cool. Get out of here. Get off. That is a nice drum. It's so weird. I have these like specific memories of hearing a drum kit for the first time and being like, any of you who've heard a drum kit in real life, like you've sat down at a real one, you'll know how unbelievably loud they are. But also they sound nothing like they do when they're recorded. Like I would always play with earmuffs and I was like, that sounds like it does on an album. Because it's always like mic'd and it's muffled and it's mixed and it's compressed. So it doesn't sound like it does when you're in person hitting it. And hearing that, I'm like, oh my God, you get these like memories of hearing a kit for the first time and sitting down at it and being like, oh my God, I'm playing Green Day again. And oh, Jesus Christ, I'm 16. That's unreal. Legs? Why was there a finger trap on one of them, but not all of them? Again, any of you who don't know drums, this is going to be one of those weird videos where like some people know stuff and I'll be explaining it and then I'll either get some stuff wrong or they'll be like, yeah, I know. Or the people who don't know anything will be like, huh? And still be confused. These ones are your floor toms. I don't know why they're called toms. I guess the sound they make. But these sit on their own like this with legs and they sit to your side. You can get like 14-inch rack toms that go up here, rack up here, floor down here. But I always liked having 2 and 2. I had before when I was younger, I had a 7-piece Pearl kit, a Pearl Export 7-piece, for any of you who care. And it had 4 rack toms? No, 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 3 rack toms and 2 floor toms. Or I think it was 4 rack toms actually and 1 floor tom. Can't even remember, but the 16 was on the floor. I never liked having that many up front. It looks really flashy, and when you're 16 you're like, oh my God, yeah. I think I was actually 18 when I got that kit. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing, and you get to like see it all up front. You get the and all the way down, and it was really cool. But then the older I got, I was like, now that I'm kind of into Gojira and Mario Duplantier's music and his way of playing, I'm like, 2 and 2 feels perfect to me. Same with like Danny Carey stuff. I mean, he has a whole bunch of stuff. He has a Roto Tom and then fucking, I don't know, he doesn't have any octobons, but you know, you can go really crazy with kits and it's always depending on what you need, but 2 and 2 was always what I felt like worked the best when we recorded the Race to the Ground stuff that you guys heard, which I don't know who uploaded that to Spotify, if it was a member of the band or I don't know, somebody's making money off the Race to the Ground music. Good for you. I never made any money off of it. When I recorded that stuff, it was 1 rack tom, 1 floor tom, and I had to kind of like make do and change the fills a little bit. I think actually it was 2 floor toms and 1 rack tom, but it never felt comfortable because that's not how I wrote the parts. And then last tom, oh, I see. They come together, so one of them has a sleeve on it so they don't rub off each other, because those are the ones that are stuck together. I get it now. Oh, monster. Absolute beast. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a thundering boy. I can't wait to hit that with a snare drum at the same time. Yes. Oh, that sounds really good. That sounds tuned to perfection already. That's like a really deep resonance to it. Fuck yeah. Also, we're coming up to the big boy, my absolute favorite drum on an entire kit. My favorite thing to do in drumming was always double bass drumming, because that was the thing I practiced the most and what I got the best at. It's something great, but if you don't have a diverse toolkit, I don't think you're a very good drummer. If all you have is double bass drum speed, which is all I really had, which is what I don't consider myself a great drummer. So bass drums were always my favorite thing to look at and tune and set up and get pedals on. I mean, I know I'm not the tallest person in the world, but the fact that the box comes up to my hip, I think is madness. Ooh, what is this? It comes with like a little wooden box. Maybe this is like drum keys and stuff. Nope, there's a drum key on top of this. That's fucking Mickey Mouse looking. So I don't know what this is then. Oh, wow. It's a bunch of stuff of like, dear Sonar customer, here's an information booklet about your set, your guarantees and your warranties. Wow, and then it comes with like slick ass gear. Comes with your own lanyard. Comes with another gold or brass drum key. What's in this? A Sonar USB stick. What y'all know about USB flash storage, huh? Fuck yeah. That's so sick. This is like when you got a video game back in the day and you got a booklet with it. And you were like, oh, I can't wait to read the booklet. Never mind playing the game. I wanted to read the booklet. Lots of foam everywhere. Sorry, drum kit. Oh, I can hear this one already. This looks so fucking good. And I'm not just trying to say that so you're edging to this. Drum kit unboxing to edge to. Every like little movement I make, I can hear the bass drum like resonating. Yeah, I lift. Hurt my back doing it though. This looks so fucking good. Yeah, I'm thinking yeah. Holy shit. That is a monster. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, I missed having a real drum kit, man. Holy fuck. That's definitely not going to come across on camera because this thing is not capable of picking up bass at all, but you can hear something. That sounds incredible. I also really love how Sonar kits have these thumb twisters, these thumb keys, because normally you have to like twist a drum key around and everything, but this makes it so much easier. Not only that, but it looks cool as fuck. Let's extend some legs. Me to your mom. Let's extend some legs. Oh yeah. I love the way it stands and it's just like, I'm a bass drum, what of it? That looks so cool. Wow. I love this skin. It's kind of like a fake leathery feeling. Fuck yeah. A little look at the finish again. I love this. It looks really cool. Boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, way-oh. And then lastly, oh wait, I need to tell you what size this is. The bass drum is 22 by 18, which I feel like is a pretty standard bass drum size. You can get way bigger ones and you can go crazy with bass drums and have a ton of reverb and like low end in them. But I think for what I play, this is perfect. And 22 inches is kind of like the max I would go to, because again, they just get so big. Like you're not just making it wide, like it gets tall as well, and having it like this now, the toms can be up here, like, and you're playing up here rather than like up here. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But last, but certainly not least, definitely not least, probably one of the most important drums in the entire kit is the snare drum. This is a 14x6. I don't know if I'll swap out the snare drum at some point. Snare drums are one of those things that drummers really care a lot about, as they should. It's one of the main weapons in your arsenal. But a lot of drummers end up going with like bell brass snares, steel snares, like that really, especially for the type of drumming I do, which is all heavy metal, that like really high-pitched crack that you want, like 2 from Sleep Token kind of snare sound, like that kind of shit where you just have a big lump of metal that you're wailing on over and over again. So I might end up changing this if I get really serious about the drumming, which I do want to. That's why I got this kit. It was because I really wanted to get back into drumming, and I really want to get better at practicing. I want to get better at like paradiddles, like with my hands. My hands are really lacking. And just get my foot stamina and everything up again. And I want to do drum covers again. I know that's what a lot of people are going to ask is, well, now if you're doing this, does that mean you're going to do drum covers? And I really want to. It's just with a full kit like this now, you have to buy like microphones. So it's a bit different than just recording on the electric kit. But yeah, in terms of snares, doing some research on it, this was one that I picked this size for specifically because I like a shallower snare, because I feel like the type of stuff that, again, that I would play, I just want like nice sharp crack really quick, and the attack to come like in and out. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass with that, but I always found shallower snares to sound really nice. Ooh, yeah. Oh, snares are crazy. Again, if you don't know snares, see all the wires on the bottom? And you can hear it in my voice as I talk near it. It used to piss me off so much when I first got a drum kit, and I was like, wait, you just hear the snare wires all the time when you're playing other drums? Like if you play any of these, you can kind of hear the snares rattle, but it never really gets picked up in the microphones. And then, oh. That's what it sounds like without it. And then you turn on the wires, and it gives you that marching band sound. God, these are gorgeous. Look at that fucking snare throw. That's incredible. That's the fucking best snare throw I've ever seen in my life. That is so sexy. I don't know if I got a snare stand because I have a DW one downstairs. So I don't know if I bought one. I have a bunch of hardware here as well, like cymbal stands. I think these might all be cymbal stands. Let me get them out. There we go. All cymbal stands. There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Because I do like a lot of cymbals around my kit. What's weird is that they're all the exact same, but some of them felt way heavier than the others. These are all Sonar Hardware 600 cymbal boom stands. Again, for any of you who care. Oh, yeah. There's the entire thing all in frame. You can barely see the snare drum, but it's there. You know what it looks like. What's unfortunate is that the floor below this one, I just built a new set in it, which was being built over Christmas and all of December while I was gone. So it was another reason why I was busy and I couldn't do much. But this year we're going to see that set. I'm going to do like a walk around tour of that. And I'm really excited to show it off. It's going to be a set to do like regular content on. And it looks really cool. But the floor downstairs, that means I don't have the key for it right now, which is where my drum kit and all the other drum kit stuff that I already have is. All my pedals. And I bought a fuck ton of new cymbals. I'm so out of breath. I bought a bunch of new cymbals, so I have to wait until tomorrow to film the rest of this video. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I could just cut to the next thing. I could just cut like, woo! Okay, it's been like 2 days and I moved the drum kit from where I unboxed it and now it's sitting here, all nice. Look at me. I have a drum kit. It's not set up properly yet. Like the toms, I've been trying to like put them in position as to where they're gonna go and set them up right and see if everything's comfortable. But I was unboxing some stuff like the cymbal stands. I got these cymbal stands that have like boom arms on them for crash cymbals, and then they have tom stands on them as well, so we can kind of like move stuff together. I don't know if that's ideal right now, but it looks good. I don't have enough cymbal stands for the cymbals I got, but I started putting on some of the cymbals, and then I realized, wait, maybe I should do this in a video. I put up my China cymbal so far. These are called China cymbals. So this is taboo in the drum community. I got a bunch of different cymbals from different cymbal makers. I was like, should I go with Paiste? Should I go with Zildjian? Meinl makes some good stuff. I used to have Sabians when I was younger. I didn't really like Sabians anymore, so I thought, okay, I'll go for some stuff that I think sounds good from drummers that I like and from stuff that I've listened to online. I did a bunch of reviews of different things from listening to them in videos. How they sound in person is very different than how they sound in videos, so cymbals are very subjective, and I don't have a cymbal shop that I can go to locally, so I just had to do my best guesstimates. I went with a Zildjian K custom dark China 17-inch. It doesn't really sound the way I wanted it to. Maybe it'll sound better when it's in the mix of drums and I'm playing and I have ear protection on, but right now, like, it doesn't really sound what I thought it would. I like a darker, sort of thrashier China, but again, it might sound different when it's actually in the mix. Okay, this one I've been very excited for. This is my Zildjian Z Custom 21-inch Mega Bell ride. I wanted to get the A Custom Mega Bell because that's what Mario Duplantier from Gojira plays, and it's the best sounding ride that I've ever heard. I absolutely adore the sound of that, but I ordered one. It was on back order. It didn't arrive. They said they weren't getting some of the stock in if I wanted to keep my order in, to just leave it there. They'd probably get stock in eventually. It was like 8 months. Actually it was like 6 months. There was no order for it. So I went with the Z Custom Mega Bell, which I don't think sounds as good. I think it sounds a bit worse, but this was kind of the only one I could get where I was. I'm sure if I lived in America, I would be able to get an A Custom Mega Bell because there's more stores to sell them over there. But for where I was, here in the UK, they don't seem to sell the A Custom Mega Bell anymore. I don't know if it's discontinued. I think it might be, but it's still the best sounding ride I've ever heard. So if anyone knows or wants to give me one, you shouldn't give me one. If I can get one of those, I will switch that out. But I love this kind of like star pattern that's on this. The Mega Bells have always sounded really good for metal music, so I'm very excited about that. That's gonna go here. I'm not setting the kit up fully yet. I'm not setting it up the way it's gonna be because I need to get a soundproof room done. So I'm just setting it up to get an approximate size of what the kit's gonna be like when it's all together, so then we can build out a room for it, because I have this at an office and I share floors with people. So if I start playing this, I won't be able to play it even in this video to give you a sound test, which sucks. I will just annoy our neighbors, like top floor. It'll be way too loud for that, so I need to get a soundproof room built. So I need to set the kit out the way I think it will be, and then we'll put some acoustic stuff all around that downstairs. But I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be cool. My God, that thing is a monster. I can't remember. I used to have a Sabian ride cymbal when I was younger, when I played drums back in the day, in any of those pictures you saw would like raise to the ground. And I can't remember what size it was. I think it was a 20-inch, might have been 19, but it sucked. The bell on it was so tiny. I didn't even know you were able to like crash a ride cymbal before. I thought that would like break it when I was younger because it just sounded horrible. And then it turns out you can do that and it's fine. But stuff like this, I just want a ride cymbal that is pure ping. I never intend on crashing a ride cymbal. It doesn't make sense to me. It's not the type of music that I play at all. I just need something that's like high ping. Not how you want to be playing games, but how you want to be playing drums for me. That seems about right. Oh, it's a bit like the A Custom, the one that I actually wanted, has a kind of like more musical ping to it. It sounds a bit nicer. The way I always described it in my brain is that this is a minor chord and the A Custom was a major chord, so it just sounded a bit more pleasing to the ear. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know what notes they would even be playing, but that's how my brain interprets it. Then I got these bad boys, which I think, full disclosure, I got these because Danny Carey plays them. He's my favorite drummer. A lot of drummers just play stuff that their favorite drummers played when they were growing up and they got used to that. I actually listened to a bunch of crash cymbals and these sounded the best to my ears because maybe, I don't know even know if it's for metal that these are going to be good or not. I just liked how musical they were. A lot of like musicality is missing in my drum playing, I think. It's just a lot of like dark, crashy. I want to up my sort of like musical game and actually I just use cymbals because I was like, oh, you hit them here and that sounds normal. But I want to actually get good at figuring out how to like incorporate good cymbal sounds into my playing. Even if it's just for me, even if I never play stuff professionally or anything ever again. I just like how these sounded. This is a Peisty 18-inch power crash. Now, I did get 2 18 inches. I actually thought I got a 19 as well, but I think I messed up the order. But I have an 18-inch power crash, which I don't know if I want. I have an 18-inch full crash as well that I can show you. Here it is. They look very similar. I genuinely think these are the prettiest cymbals I've ever seen. I don't think it gets better than this. They're so bright and shiny, and the Peisty like signature on it just looks so nice. They sound amazing. They go for a while because this is a full crash and the power crash is probably louder. I don't know which one I want. My right-hand side is going to be the one that I'm writing on the most. So I don't know which one I want, the full crash or the power crash. I also hope they sound different. Usually 18 inches are going to sound the same regardless if they're separate like types of cymbals. I don't know. They sound different, but they're pretty close. I might have to get a 19-inch as well, just to spread out the soundscape a bit more. But yeah, I don't know which one I want on my right-hand side. I think maybe the full crash. I'll put it here for now. Whenever I get to playing them, I'll be able to tell. And then the power crash can go on the left, because to me, the power section is going to be the ones that accent. At least that's in my brain how it's gonna go. Like I'll be playing this and then when I need a separate sound, I'll come over to the power crash, which will sound powerful. And then to round out the crash cymbals, I have a Peisty 20-inch power crash, which is massive. Oh, this fucking hurts to do. Like this one is just big, it's heavy, it has a lot of sustain, it'll go all day, but I feel like that's what a power crash should do, you know? I don't know if that fits into the musicality that I'm doing, like the types of songs that I'm doing are like Trivium and Avenged Sevenfold. Like I think that these are probably overkill for that and they probably sustain way too long for that type of music, but I don't really care. I'm playing for fun, not to do anything else. But that's gonna go over here on my right-hand side. Again, these are not set up properly, but they're gonna go here so that whenever I'm playing something on this one and I'm crashing out, and then you hit this one as an accent, and then when you need something like really big and explosive, you come over here to the right-hand side. So this is kind of the orientation that I play all my drums in. I have 18-inch crash up here, that's going to be like the main one that I'm on most of the time. 18-inch over here. Oh, they do sound different. Okay, that's good. They actually sound very different. I think once you're like hitting a bass drum with them with a stick, it's going to sound really good. Then my ride is normally down here. I like the ride low because if it's up high, I can't really keep on it as often. I feel like I can hit, well, the mega bell is massive. I feel like I can just hit that anywhere, but I like riding the bell down here for like blast stuff. Then I usually have my china over here above the ride. Yeah, I feel like that's not the right china for me, but we'll see. And then the power crash. I've never had a third crash cymbal in my whole life of playing drums, so it's nice to be like, the way I always see it. Okay, imagine this, if you will. I'm sitting here, I'm playing, I'm riding this one out, and then it's like dun dun dun, and then dun dun dun, and you like hit this massive one and it's like a big explosion of sound. And it just sounds really fun and bright and over the top. And you just send out like a wall of noise and like musicality. And then you have your china over here whenever you need to write that for like specific beats. The ride is down here. Oh yeah, I didn't show you my hi-hats because I had those set up already. I was setting them up. I put down the hi-hats and the china because I was like, I should film this. I got the 15-inch K Custom or K Sweet hi-hats. I think those sound the best. Again, Mario Duplantier plays these and I think they sound really good. I didn't really like how his cymbals sounded because his stuff is a lot more, I'm trying to think of words that don't sound negative. It's a lot more of a choked sound. It's big, it's dark, it's splashy, and then it's gone. Same with his toms and his bass drum. They're like flat sounds. They're not like tuned very high to be musical. They're there for a very specific sound. I mean, by his own words as well. His type of metal playing is very like get in, get out, like high attack, like very little sustain. But his hi-hats sounded really good because that sort of like dark, splashy sound I really liked, but hi-hats are always very subjective. And again, I'll probably change a lot of this stuff out or mix it around around depending on what I want to play. I'm lucky enough and privileged enough to be in a position where I can try out a lot of stuff, but I'm very excited to kind of like get in and play around with them. But these are also gorgeous. It's one of those things that I mixed around the cymbals a lot because these are ones that I think sound good. But a lot of times it's like if a drummer's playing something, if they're playing Zildjian cymbals like these, they only have Zildjians. If they're playing Paiste, they only have Paiste. And I'm assuming that that's because the big drummers all just have brand recognition and brand endorsements that they're like giving them the cymbals for tour. And then like if you're seen playing Paiste cymbals, that Paiste will endorse you. And then you get used to them and you like them and you can make your own new cymbals and all that. I don't have to worry about that. So I'm trying out a bunch of different cymbals from different brands in the same kit. And for a lot of drummers, that seems taboo. But I was always like, why wouldn't you do that? You know, if a hi-hat in this brand sounds good and a crash on that brand sounds good and you don't like the crashes in this brand, although Zildjian make very nice crashes. But I didn't like any of Paiste's ride cymbals. I like Zildjian's ride cymbals. Paiste's hi-hats were a little too musical for me, a little too sustainy for me, for a very specific purpose, but Zildjian's ones sounded really like chicky. That's how I always hear hi-hats. It's like chick, 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 you know? So I just mixed a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm curious what other drummers think about doing that. Because I always wondered, like, if you were able to get different cymbals, wouldn't you? But yeah, interesting. And again, I don't know, because I always see that, like, people have like a Sonar drum kit, or they have a Tama or a Pearl, but then their snare drums sometimes are from like a third party that no one's heard of, and it's like some dude in the woods who hollows out an entire tree trunk, and they're playing that, and then no one questions that it's not the same drum as the brand that they're playing. So I was like, why wouldn't you do that with cymbals? I do have a bunch more. I have 4 other smaller cymbals, but I don't have any stands for them, but I'll show you. I wanted to test out some splashes. I got a Sabian AAX 10-inch splash, which seems like it has a bit of that like get in, get out feeling, which is what you want in a splash cymbal, I would imagine. At least for me, it's like accented, like how Matt Greiner from August Burns Red or the drummer from Sleep Token, like how they play their splashes. It's very much like accents coming off that, so you don't want it to like last a long time. I don't know if this is the right one for that. I wanted to try out a Sabian splash because, again, that's the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold talking through me when I was younger, and I watched his almost easy drum playthrough in the studio, and I was like, man, those splashes sound nice. I want some of those. So I was like, I don't even know if this is what he played, but I was like, man, Sabian are close to my heart because that's what I used to play. I will say, their new logo, when I used to play them back when I was like 18, 2008-ish, their logo was so much better. This logo sucks. I don't like this logo. Does everybody else who plays Sabian like this logo? Because I don't. I wanted to try out a Paiste splash. This is a Paiste 8-inch dark energy splash, which just sounds cool. That is a very, like, that has a personality to it. It almost sounds like a mini China. I also like the underside of it. It's very like, remember when Joey Jordison, RIP to a great drummer, remember when Joey Jordison used to play Paiste Rude cymbals? They kind of had this sort of finish to them that I thought was cool. Like, it's so bright and sparkly up here, and then on the back, it's like so dirty and raw, and I think that's what gives it its like dark energy sound. But it is what it sounds like. It sounds like what the name says, dark energy splash. I also, again, this is Danny Carey talking through me. I bought some cup chimes. I have never had cup chimes, ever. But again, seeing Matt Greiner play them, he plays Zildjian ones, but like those cups, I'm like, oh, writing on like a cup sounds really cool. Or like for accents, sounds fucking sick. And then Danny Carey's ones are always like really musical, like in between sections, like you could just play around with different tones. So I bought a 6.5-inch Paiste 2002 cup chime, which these like they sustain forever, but they have that like really thick pingy sound. And then this is a 5.5-inch, same model. I just think they sound cool. I wanted to try them out, but I don't have stands for those. I didn't think about that. I just ordered a bunch of cymbals of what I wanted. And I was like, oh, right, I bought a ton of cymbal stands, but those are occupied now. I mean, this is the main thing. I have never played any of the stuff I played for Race to the Ground or any of the music that I played growing up. I had one splash for Avenged Sevenfold songs, and that was it. I never had anything else, but I always thought, like, wouldn't it be cool to have a beat like hands, feet on like the bell and a cup chime, and then hands, and then the other cup chimes, like just that like ding 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 ding, you know? Again, What am I saying? I'm speaking a different language to most people. But that sound, again, that's a very Matt Greiner thing to me, and I also really like him as a drummer. Oh yeah, I also got this, which for the longest time, I was looking at it and I was like, I didn't order this, and I don't know what it is. It was in one of the boxes, and I didn't order it. It wasn't in my order. I even checked, and I was like, oh, maybe it's part of the hi-hat stand, because it has a hi-hat like piece on it that you take off, and I was like, but it doesn't bend. And then I realized it's a closed hi-hat, I think, or like an open hi-hat, or like a permanent thing, because the hi-hats you're able to like open and close and play it closed or open or whatever. And then this is one that it's either permanently open or permanently closed. I don't know. I've never had one of these. I've never played one of these, but it's for a second set of hats if you want them off to the side, which a lot of metal drummers do. And they'll have a set that's just permanently closed, so they don't have to worry. They can like do double bass and never have to worry about keeping their foot on it. So I guess I have one of these. That would be cool to try out and get a second set of hats. Yeah, but that's the kit. That's what I have so far. That's what I'm excited to set up and get playing. It's going to be a while before I can. Again, I have to wait I either have to come in when no one else is in the office, but I'm like, I still think it's going to be too loud. Drum kits are really fucking loud. You'll hear it in the streets, and there's like a residential building nearby, so if I play it, it's going to be really annoying for people. So I might have to wait until we have a proper like soundproof room to send me in, like a padded cell. But I just think it looks incredible. I'm very happy with it. I finally have an acoustic drum kit again, which I've wanted for so long. It's like my dream kit. I don't know about the finish being my dream thing. I just thought this looked nice, like a walnut dark finish. Sometimes I go between hating it and loving it. I'm very particular when it comes to patterns on drums. I think it looks really nice on camera, but sometimes I'm like, ooh, a matte black would be nice. And I'm like, ooh, like a matte, like cream color would be nice. So I always change my mind. But I think it looks extraordinary, and I'm very excited to sit down and play it. I don't think I have the skill level worthy of a drum kit like this. But again, this is something I've wanted since I saw Danny Carey for the first time. And I was like, and that friend of mine who taught me drums, you know what he taught me? He brought me over and he taught me he was like big into Green Day as well. And he taught me like Brain Stew from Green Day is a really good beginner drum song, because it has that like, did it. So it has two on the feet and one on the hand. And that changed my brain completely, hearing that. And I was like, okay, I'll practice this song. And then when you finally get that like independence from your hand and your feet, because a lot of people go like, did it, and the tendency to want to do that. So when you learn not to do that, then it opens up your brain. And he played on a Sonar kit. So it was like two very big deals in my brain that two people were playing Sonar kits when I was younger that I looked up to. So shout out Colin. That was his name. So ever since then, I've wanted a Sonar kit, and now I have one. And that is just the coolest feeling in the world. To be like a big kid with toys and disposable income is just one of the coolest feelings. So I'm very happy with this, and I'm very pleased, and I can't wait to... I would love to do more drum covers. I really would. First of all, getting them copyright struck is a pain in the ass, because I'm worried that now record labels are like looking into all of my videos. It's not just for that one video. I don't really care about not making money on a drum cover, because the band should be making money if I'm using their music. But if the record label starts looking into what you're doing, then I'm like, oh God, I just don't want those eyeballs on my channel. I don't want it to like fuck up anything else that I'm doing. I would love to have a whole room with this mic'd up and be able to like sit down and play it properly, and, you know, like have like a full production kit that I could play. Why am I on the ground like this? No, don't peg me. Anyway, maybe I should leave it there before I completely lose the plot. But thank you for watching, any of you who are interested in this, and thank you for watching the whole thing. Any of you drummers out there, tips, suggestions, thoughts, anything is worthwhile. I just love drummers and listening to them talk about gear and equipment. Any of you out there play a Sonar kit or have like your favorite hardware, or stories about your favorite drummers and like the dream kit that you would want when you were watching them as a kid? Because I remember Tama were a big one when I was younger, and then the older I got, I was like, Lars Ulrich plays Tama, and I don't like Lars Ulrich anymore, so I don't want Tama anymore. You know, I mean, Mario Duplantier plays Tama, and I always thought that was cool. But I don't know, Sonar just had like maybe it's that like brand thing of like, you perceive a brand to be higher quality in your brain, so it's like, so you want that thing. That's basically why I have this. But there's my drum kit. Thank you for watching.